Om. Om. Welcome to Meaningful Morning. In our community, a seeker from Cleveland, his name is Vivek. His father passed away this week. Everyone relax the body, enjoy the breath, chant with the mind, offering your request for help, physical health, mental health, for yourself, for Vivek's father. Ma vidvishavahai. May we all understand. May we all understand why we're alive. May we all understand what death is. In the Yaksha Prashna, I've been talking a lot about this from the Mahabharata. What I'll be teaching on Thursday nights, what I'm teaching in the retreat I'm facilitating right now. Near the end, one of the questions that the Yaksha asks Yudhishthira, the parent to the child, what is the news? Sometimes parents ask kids that. What's going on? What's happening in school these days? And Yudhishthira, the child, responds with, time is cooking. What's the news? Time is cooking all of us. That is a really powerful thought. The time is cooking all of us. Meaningful mornings is a culture to know this. That way we make the best use of time. The word swadharma in English means nature. The nature of oneself. The swadharma of sugar is to be sweet. The swadharma of salt is to be salty. Your swadharma is joy. Every one of us is trying to return to our nature. We explore this by the notion of sukha prapti. All we do for joy. This is proof, this is evidence that this is your swadharma. And that's why in the 13th chapter onwards, the theme of these teachings is on asi. Be who you are. You are not an individual. An individual feels they are their thoughts, they are their cells, they are their stuff. Be who you are. Who is Prince Arjuna? He is Shri Krishna. Who is Shri Krishna? Infinity. A way that we can reflect on Swadharma more is try to be more inward looking. In a secular sense, we would describe this as being an introvert. Most of us think being an introvert is a weakness, but that's a lie. Being an introvert is a strength. It is indicative of how independent you are. Why is it that we don't feel our nature to be joy? This is taught in verses 3 and 4. How one has become an individual. And the sequence is the Creator has expressed as creation, which feels like being a creature. The Creator expresses in a macro way, that's creation, which expresses in a micro way, Vivek, Shankarji, Sadashiva, and so on. This is not a new subject. We've already gone through this sequence, and I want to point out how much Sri Krishna loves you, that he's teaching the same subject but in a different way. It is from Krishna that comes unity, that comes diversity. Right now, I identify with diversity. How can I identify with individuality? Go from diversity, that's chapter 10, to unity, that's chapter 11, to Krishna, that's chapter 12. In a more technical sense, verses 3 and 4, I'm going to read to you Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's brief explanation. In the language of Vedanta, it is said that the total vasanas of the world, meaning the total causal body, is the womb which gets impregnated by the Lord. When life functions as the total causal body, it becomes dynamic and expresses itself as the total mind intellect. Pujya Swami Chinmayananda shares more. In that, I place the seed. The total potential nature is the womb, in which, when the shaft of consciousness penetrates, the light of awareness that consequently plays in it is its act of impregnation. Sri Krishna, and in this case Pujya Swami Chinmayananda, are brilliant teachers. When we were younger, we would ask our parents, how was I born? And our parents lied to us in so many ways until we knew basic biology. And finally, they shared that a sperm and an egg, they unite, and that's how you were born. That same biology that we have a reference for is shifted from the micro to the macro. Brilliant teaching. And if I can try to make this more practical, I find with a lot of younger people that they have a sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to this earth. I'm entitled to my parents always looking after me. I'm entitled to my own thoughts. A sense of entitlement is forgetting how you are who you are. A sense of entitlement is forgetting how much your parents have done for you, your grandparents have done for you. Here Shri Krishna is teaching us, don't feel entitled. Know who your original parent is. The womb is Bhagavan Brahma. The sperm is Shri Krishna. Now, verse 5 onwards, Shri Krishna is explaining how we can change our individuality, because that's what I identify with right now, so that I do remember my source. I do remember my Swadharma. Sattvam rajas tama iti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibhadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Joy. Super practical teachings have now started. Sattva, Raja, tama. These are terms I feel all of you have heard before. I'll define them a little bit more. We're trying to make this conspicuous. So we have conviction, confidence, contentment. Sattva means like Sat. Sat has so many meanings like existence, truth, and so on. A way that you can feel sattva is integrity. What is sattva? Integrity. Integrity leads one to infinity. Next is Raja. Raja means dust, dusty, unclear. This quality makes one confused. And when we're confused, we do so much. That's why this is related to aggressiveness. Tama in English means darkness. It is worse than confusion. In confusion, I sort of know and sort of don't know, so I still do stuff. In tama, I don't know, so I do nothing. That's why this is related to laziness. Integrity, dusty, darkness. Okay, these are new words for you to reflect on. Iti gunaha. These are the gunas. Where did they come from? Prakriti sambhavaha. They were born from Prakriti. The words that we have been using in our framework. Maya expresses as the gunas. Creation expresses as creatures. More thoughts for us to reflect on. Maya, once again, means not is, or is not, whatever. Not is the correct sequence, but it feels like is not. Guna, can you tell me an English word for guna in the chat? There's technical words, but there's more philosophical words. Guna means rope. Whenever there's ropes in philosophy, there's always this notion of being bound. That comes out in the third quarter. Nibadnanti, which means to bind, to condition, to limit. Mahabaho. Your nature is Mahabaho, to be the greatest. Your Swadharma's joy, yet these ropes have tied us to laziness, aggressiveness, and quietness, shared in a reflective way. This bondage is when you feel the relative is absolute. This morning I was talking to a young adult who is in a medical program, but there's been a disruption in her medical program. And she had shared with me that when she found this out, her world collapsed. She's in her second year of her undergraduate program. She asked me, what should I do? I said, talk to people with experience. Our worlds have collapsed 700 times already, but here we are. See, that's what happens if you're immature. And I'm not picking on this young seeker. She just lacks experience. That's what happens when you're immature. You make the relative absolute. And so in the language of devotion, our individuality is to be surrendered. The individual feels they're absolute. The whole world revolves around me. And so I have to surrender this wrong notion, this immaturity. Dehe means in the body. Dehinam, what's in the body? It's almost like this being in the body. This being in the body is avyayam, which means limitless, conditionless, absolute. Your nature is absolute, But we've forgotten this because of these ropes, and now we feel that we are relative. Even though we don't act like it, we feel like we are relative. Earlier this week, I described that humans and animals are equal. Animals feel they're the body, humans feel they're the body, and we just go about living through our senses. This bondage is very real. Are you ready to admit that? If you are, this chapter will be beautiful. If not, you're already Sri Krishna. There's no need for meaningful mornings. You be the host. I'll be the co-host. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to give to your guide. It is your guide's birthday, whether that's Rishi Vyasa or Puja Swami Tejomayananda, to give to your guide. In our Vedanta and Bhagavata course, I had shared with everyone, when it comes to dana, or expressing gratitude, it is not from your narrative, but from your guide's narrative. Shri Krishna's guide is Rishi Sandipani. Rishi Sandipani asked Shri Krishna for what dana he wants. And Shri Krishna gave this. It wasn't from Shri Krishna's narrative that I want to give this. And I was sharing with our young adults, there's 70 young adults and evolving adults in our retreat. And I told them, I said, many of you and many of your parents make around $10,000 a month. And I shared what all of you should do, or at least our community should do, is we should raise $10. That's how low my standards become. We should raise $10,000 a month for our earth. That's the least our community can do. You make $10,000 a month for yourself. At least all of us can do $10,000 a month for our earth. And we have. In 17 months, we will have raised $200,000. Be part of this. Your application for this morning is for you to feel there is no absolute. That is an awful thought, but I want you to actually apply. There is no absolute. Just feel there is only relativity. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be joy.